And as employees head back to the office, companies are seeking new, innovative ways to help employees engage safely in the workplace while remaining productive. OfficeSpace CEO David Kochera shares new insight on how companies of all sizes can welcome back their team members and plan for the future of the workplace.
First and foremost, companies have embraced the reality that how and where we work. It has changed over the last year, and they're embracing the fact that it's going to continue to change and evolve as we start to return to the workplace. First and foremost, companies are concerned about employee safety and making sure that employees feel safe as they consider the return to the workplace. And then on the business side, there are two primary drivers based on the thousands of conversations that we've had with clients and helping them plan to return to their office. Two drivers that they're considering. The first is their real estate strategy, and that is largely driven by financial considerations or by their growth or potentially shrinkage of their real estate footprint. And then the second is the level of control that companies are willing to provide their employees as they determine what flexible means. And contributing factors to this would be the industry that a company's in, the historical company culture, as well as the employee demands. And in a time where talent scarcity is at an all-time high, the employee's voice in this is much louder than it might have been in the past. As we've helped companies plan and in some instances actually make their return to the workplace, four models emerge, and four hybrid models as they return. The first is what we've called the Traditionalist Model, and that, as the name suggests, is going to look a lot like it did pre-pandemic, but with a little bit of added flexibility where the company may offer 1 or 2 days a week of flexible out of the office time, but in large part the office or the workplace is going to be used in a very similar manner. The second model is the architect model, where that real estate strategy that I mentioned takes front stage, and the company is embracing flexible work, but in an attempt to shrink their real estate footprint. And as a result, they're being more prescriptive about how employees use or the flexibility that employees have. The third model is the Nomad Model, and this is where the control over flexibility starts to change and transition to the employee. In the Nomad Model, the employees have more flexibility and control over when and how and where they work, but the offices themselves will stay largely the same, with desks being converted from assigned seats to bookable seats and still providing conference rooms and the like. And then the final model is the pioneering model, where everything changes. This is where companies are giving ultimate latitude to their employees on the flexibility elements of the work and changing their offices to collaboration studios and conference centers where the employees will come to gather and do specific things as a group, and they control where they do their individual work separately. Companies have been managing through the change over the last 16 months, and the change has been constant, as we all know. Both companies and employees are ready to get back to whatever the new normal is, or help create the new normal. So they're ready for change, but at the same time, because its change has been constant and because we're pivoting all the time, like companies are still pivoting today and changing their return to office plans from this fall to next January or February. It's just important that everybody, as you think you're ready for the change, be ready for more change or some slight pivots. And my advice to everybody is to remain flexible and don't be afraid to over-communicate, both from the company perspective as well as from the employee perspective as we continue to manage through the changes. I would suggest that people go to our website at OfficeSpaceSoftware.com for more information on the four models that I discussed and how our clients are embracing and working through their challenges as they return to the workplace.